Okay, nice to see everybody popping on here. Everybody getting in just fine. Good morning.
Ingrid, I don't think your earbuds are on. Your microphone, it's coming from the computer, not your AirPods.
Thank you. No. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay. Sorry about that. It normally connects pretty well. Today it was not doing so. Okay. So, yay, we're all here. Everybody can hear me? Great. You got to see a little bit of my setup probably. So I have a bigger screen that I can see you on or see what I'm doing, and you guys are on my phone. So it's just that kind of technology stuff. Yeah, so good morning, Sunday morning. Thanks for coming in, and we'll get some nice work done here and then send us on our way for the week. And we're going to start out. I just have my weights out today, and I have a chair. The only other thing is we'll be doing some things on hands and knees. So if you need some extra padding, grab a blanket that you can smooth out, or an extra mat. You might like that if your knees get bothered by a little bit of on the floor stuff. So with that said, let's get started coming onto your back. Now taking a couple breaths in and out. And just noticing the body. I usually can really sense what's going on in my shoulders or in my collarbones. If things are kind of tight, or if things feel like they can just really open up. I might check in a little bit in my belly or in my low back, resting back here just to kind of see where I'm at to start out. Right, notice your feet, just waving the toes a little bit, feeling them on your mat or on your carpeting, wherever you're at. And then my meditation this morning talked a lot about setting an intention, and we can set intentions that are kind of longer term, and we can set intentions for the next 2 minutes, the next 3 minutes, the next hour. So what is your intention as you check in with your body here? We know about the benefits of this practice. And what would be your greatest benefit to get out of this today? So if you know you've been pushing it all week, and even if I offer challenges, maybe you take the little bit easier route today. Maybe you take it a little bit easy. If once you get going, you feel like you can handle the challenges, then you go ahead with that. But just kind of trying to stay in that alignment. So let's start out with mini crunch and bring the hands behind the head. I know last week we did some warm up. We're going to do that today too, a little more on our feet. But I really like to get connected in the center of the body as well at the beginning of the practice. So let's see if we can find your way up into that mini crunch, releasing the tail, feeling the core start to turn on. And taking a couple breaths here. Go ahead and inhale your way down or just keep it kind of slow and controlled on the way down. Even if you're exhaling on the way down, that's fine. I'm going to use my next exhale to come on up again. And then let's bring one knee up. And then bring that leg back down. Bring the other knee up. And bring that leg back down. Try one more time each side. Still trying to bring those shoulders away from the mat. And now slowly coming back. Again, control so that we've got connection the whole way down. And then one more like this. Coming up. Balancing both knees. Continuing to take the shoulders away from the mat best we can. Trying not to strain or reach with the chin and neck. We've talked about kind of softening the roof of the mouth, like that smile is coming in to kind of help not grip so much, and then come on down. Hands can come out for a moment. Let's take the knees both up here. Now, angle of your shins, right? The angle of this, of the knee here with the thigh. If you have your shins up, even with the knees, this exercise of tapping our toes down will be a little bit harder than if we let the legs come in closer to the body. So you can start kind of closer to the body and see how that goes. I'm just inviting a little more of my lower belly in here. Working the hips again a little bit. I have my feet connected. It feels kind of nice. Knees in line with my hips. So if I wanted to, I could take those shins up a little bit, and now I've got to reach a little further. Keep relaxing my shoulders, my neck. Try to keep all this nice work in the belly, not in the thighs. Create a little bit of heat coming up here. My space always feels a little cool when I start. I'd like to have my long sleeve on still, but starting out here, starting to feel warm already. Go ahead and bring the feet down. Nice work. Full exhale. Do things feel different anywhere in the body? Low back, hips, chest. And then let's do a little bit of footwork here, or leg choreography. We're going to bring one leg in and reach the other one out and switch. One leg in and switch. One leg in. And reaching. And then drawing in. Nice and smooth in the movement. A little bit of clicking here and there in the hips for me. So if you have that, as long as something is hurting, it's okay. Sometimes we can rearrange to get those things to quiet down. And then feet come down. Breath. Let the belly relax. And then let's bring the hands back behind the head. That same position for the elbows we've been talking about the last couple weeks. Keeping the chest as open as we can and yet the back broad, we find that just right spot for the elbows. And I'm going to come up into that mini crunch and bring the knees in. And I'm not quite going to reach maybe all the way out like we just did, but you could if you wanted. I'm going to see if I can reach right opposite shoulder toward that knee. Get a little crisscross in here and then come back to neutral and then switch. So I'm not reaching out as far as I just did. That's really a different part of the series. I just like to do the footwork sometimes, but I'm doing this crisscross. Take the shoulder toward the knee. It's awfully tempting to just bring the elbow over. See if you can reach that shoulder in. That knee comes in a little bit. Shoulder reaches, come back to center one more time each side. come to center, whew, and then come down. It's been a little while. Maybe you were feeling that too. Maybe it's been a little while for you. Let things rest again. Breath comes in. Breath goes out. All right, let's grab onto one leg and use it to kind of help us come up. Okay, so we're going to start with some support at the back of the legs. And I'm already starting to roll down into that C spine. Walk the feet in. If they need to be, they could be out a little bit further, but for me, this feels just about right. To have that about a foot in front of my seat. And I'm going to start to crawl down a little bit and just pause there. And if you feel your feet getting really light, I know one of the questions recently was about how do we keep our heels or our feet, pretty active. Honestly, mine are a little bit light here. I can still feel them really good. And I'm going to come up again a little bit here, but not quite to a full straight on spine, but just coming up a little bit. I'm not in my most difficult spot. And I'm going to let myself lean back again. Still that nice broad chest, broad back, wide chest. See if I can come up just enough to feel a little relief, but I'm still not straight up and coming straight up yet. Let's do it one more time. Anybody feeling that? Love to hear your feedback. Does this work for you? What starts to grab, if anything? And can you stick with your intention? Intention for self-care, for resilience, to do this work so you can continue to be very productive in whatever your efforts are. So now let's come up a little bit and give ourselves a true break. True break. All right. Then I'm going to grab one of my weights, just my lighter one. And then let's work with, we haven't done this one for a little while in my class anyway, taking the hand out and then taking it to the side and back and front. And you could grab on and do the other side. I end up hitting my curtains here, coming back in. Or you could give yourself a little more challenge here and have both hands out front. How many of you can feel your legs doing a little bit of the work? Maybe even shifting a little bit. So if that's the case, maybe come up a little bit more so you feel a little more grounded through your seat. And you can move the arms, or again, grab on and do the other side. All right. Gonna give myself another little break. Come on up. Drop the shoulders. Drop the jaw a little bit. All right. What if I had my weight and I held it out here? Really challenging here to keep the feet and the knees coming straight on. I'm going to turn so I'm more visible and really honest with you about whether I'm shifting. So I'm going to come back into that Pilates C shape where I have that nice challenge. I'm just going to give this a little bit of movement to one side and come back to the other side and come back. And what I'm watching for again is that shift. Can I keep knees, hips, feet nice and steady? And let the shoulders, ribs do the moving. Of course, my core is doing all of the stability then, right? See if you're shifting, or even I can feel a little bit of shift in the weight in my feet, especially to one side. That's interesting. Yeah. Arms are getting a little tired from holding my 3-pound weight. Good. And then coming back up. Breath. How was that? How's that feel? Nice and warm in the core? All right, let's come up to our feet. All right, I'm gonna grab both of my light weights. Both light weights. Go ahead and have them nearby. Feet in parallel, spreading the toes apart. We didn't do a check-in at the beginning, but notice your posture. From doing your core stuff, we haven't gotten to the lower legs yet or the ankles. We're going to head there right now, or even a lot of movement in the shoulders, but just getting the breath moving, getting the core on, already feeling like I can stand straighter, feel a little more purposeful. That whole idea of us moving has so many benefits. So let's go ahead and take the shins forward. Let's work with those ankles a little bit. Shins forward and then back up. So you can keep those heels really planted. I mean, I feel the whole of my foot when I do this, but I really feel a little bit of tug in that lower leg, connected into my feet, through the ankles. So I'm just gonna keep on with that. Shins forward, knees straight ahead. And then a little smile, releasing the face. You're getting a little bit warmer down there. Does it feel a little smoother? Is it getting a little wobbly? Sometimes we get a little fatigued, gets a little wobbly. All right, I'm gonna come down and pause there. Just check it out. Knees straight on. I'll lift my weights up. Come back up to standing. All right, so you could take the weights with you right now, or you can put them down. If your weights get to be too heavy for this, we're gonna do small circles. Then you can go ahead and put them down. And you might find you don't do as many, right? Once you add a little weight. So if you have a water bottle, those disposable water bottles, so I'm thinking of those kind of very light weights, or even a can of beans or soup, those would work really well. 3 pounds, probably have to work up to it a little bit. I'm gonna go the other direction, small circles. Small, small, checking it out, connecting into shoulders. All right, you can take a break. We're gonna take these into bigger circles. Your aim is to do nice, big circles, 8 of them. They don't have to be your biggest ones, but definitely bigger than the last. Oh, other direction. Starting to feel the burn a little bit. How about you? Somehow the forearms are really, I'm gonna bend my elbows a little bit, see what happens. Not sure that helped. Woo. All right, bringing that down. Good. I'm gonna shake it out a little bit. Bring the weights down, shake out the arms. We could even take a little somatic here and just wipe them down. Or if you had a spot like me, kind of right in here, I'm just gonna get a little bit of, it's all right, muscle. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your work. And then shake it out. Good. All right. And take those weights back just to have them alongside the body though. All right. So we're gonna go shins forward, heels up, heels back down, back to standing. Shins forward, heels up, heels back down, and standing. Let's do a couple more. Heels up. You can also hang on to your chair here. This is obviously getting more into that balance place. Good. Shins forward, heels up, heels down, straighten. One more. Shins forward, heels up, heels down, and straighten. Nice work. Let's do that. That's really good prep work for doing doing the running. So that's the one where we switch. So I'll turn to the side a little bit so you can see, but you're gonna switch. You're gonna lift each heel, right? So lifting each heel, and then as you're ready, you could do that in the air, switching as you go, looking straight ahead, feeling those weights in your hands, that contact of the weights. Good. Nice. All right. With or without weights, we're going to do a little bit of W's here. So arms are kind of in a cactus. I'm doing the light weights if I'm doing anything. And I'm going to bring those forward and then open. Forward and open. How far forward? As far as you can go. As far as it feels comfortable. Open. And as far as you can open back too, right? That gets that chest open. It also squeezes those upper back muscles together. And we want those shoulder blades doing all of this stuff, right? Shoulder blades doing all of it. All right, starting to feel my arms again. Nice work. Okay, so let's take that to some side steps here. Move my chair out of the way, but I could use it also. I could have my back of my chair right in front of me there. I'm gonna keep these light weights in my hand and I'm just gonna start stepping. Let's do side, center, side, center, side, center, side, center. Give my little bend to the knee there. Do this at your pace. Again, we did a little bit of work and every now and then you'll feel your heart rate kind of go up, right? Depending on what we're doing. Even in plank pose. So here we're using a little bit of our just keeping moving. Get the blood flowing again. All right. And now I'm going to go to the other side of my mat and I'm going to make a big step and a big step. Big step. Tap. If I wanted to, adding some arms, I've got these lighter weights. Just opening and closing, but a little much lower than we were just a moment ago, right? My elbows are way down here. Lower. You'll find a rhythm that works for you. Tapping. If you want to make this harder, I'm going to do this for another 30 seconds or so. I don't have a watch, but I'll pretend I do. I'm going to lower my hips. Stopwatch. Somebody out there is counting down from 30. All right. I'm going to see if I can slow it down. I want to balance a little. Take a step and balance. You might find your weights out here is nice. Step, balance. Step, balance. You could have a toe on the floor. You could lift that leg up. Good. step, balance, step, balance. Good. All right, how are we feeling? Let's come on down. I'm gonna grab one of my heavier weights, and I want my chair nearby. Just nice to have it. If you've got your sofa or something like that nearby, that might work. And I want to come down here to kneeling. And I've got that little bit heavier weight nearby. So in kneeling, let's go ahead and start with taking a foot forward. So I'll take that foot forward. Cheating, I'm using my chair here, fingertips on that chair. So if I want to up the ante, the hands come away. They're coming to the waist. And then I want to see, can I lift up my heel in the front? Some of you will remember this. We were kind of playing around with this in studio a while back. What do you feel working? Just lifting up that heel, right? Now bring your hand back to that chair if you want. Now is it a lot easier to lift that heel up? All right. And bring my foot in just a little bit. It was a little bit out too far, because what I'd like to do now is to see, can I actually lift my whole foot off? I've gotten as far as my tippy toes here. Can I take, what do I have to do to take that foot off the floor, even temporarily? And then bring it back down. And then let's switch sides. So I'll switch so that I've got the other foot coming forward. So again, if it's a little tough on the knee, make sure you have enough padding. My knee kind of adjusts and it's okay, but I don't have any injuries there. And just bringing the hands to the waist, or keeping one little fingertip on the chair. And I'm going to lift that heel up and go back down. Lift the heel up and go back down. So all sorts of good stuff happening here for me, just really different movement and balance for my body. I'm going to see if I can come up onto the tippy toes. Maybe my fingertip is back at the chair. And I'm going to see, can I on this side find enough balance? If you're looking closely, you can see I'm wobbling all over the place. Can I find enough balance to lift front foot up? Then I'm even adjusting, right? If I try to hold it up there too long, it starts to go out. All sorts of good stuff. Lots of core. You feeling that in your belly? Maybe in the front of the standing knee. Let's bring the foot back. All right, grab my weight. Oh, take that back. We're gonna go to hands and knees. Go ahead and come to hands and knees. Take a break from being completely on the knees. We can have the hands now supporting, and we get that grounding through the upper arm, through the arms and the hands. Breath. I'm finding that neutral spine here, a little bit of core, ribs pulling up. And then let's pull the belly in and start to round the spine. So as I pull my belly in, my tail starts to tuck, and then my head likes to go down as well. So come into that nice cat pose. Take a breath. And then start to unravel that back to neutral. And then if you'd like to, a little bit of cow pose. So a little bit of reach, keep the back of the neck nice and long. There's a little more arc in the low back, and yet it's supported by your core. Go ahead and switch. Start with your belly, right around your belly button. That's where the movement starts. Let things start to curl in the lower body, pelvis, then finally the head. Breath, even though you're still pulling the belly up so nicely. And then back to neutral. And if you'd like to, a little more cow pose. Get nice and long with the back of the neck. Have your belly working even though You've got your tail now up in the air, and then come to neutral. And you can push back if you'd like, or just shake the wrists out. We're going to come back to our knees and our chair, this time with a weight. So I'm going to have my hand either on the chair or maybe at my belly to kind of remind me I'm using my belly here. I'm going to use my heavier weight. I'm going to come from low to my shoulder and press up, back to my shoulder and down. Just nice and smooth like that. Just nice. Doesn't seem like a lot of movement, but it is for our shoulder blade and all the muscles that are going to be giving us that stability. Push, lower slowly, lower slowly. Pull, push, lower, lower. Pull, push, lower, lower. What happens if we bring one leg forward? Who's finding that to be a different kind of ball game? I am. More of my body working now than it was, but maybe you'll find something different. I'd like to do about 4 more. So even my 7-pound weights, I really probably could be pushing 8 to 10 in that, but that many reps, definitely starting to feel that one again. Let's try the other side. So if you need to, take a break off the knees. You could do this standing. If the knees aren't working at all for this, you could do this standing. So let's bring one foot forward right away. Hand can be on the chair for some more stability, or hand could come to your thigh. Pull up, press, and down. Probably, if I had a little more weight, I definitely would lower a little bit more slowly. This feels very doable for me in this weight. But if I had my 10, like I said, 10 or 12-pound kettlebell, well, that would be a different game. So if you feel like it's time to up the ante with your weights, getting something that's just a little bit heavier will continue to help you gain that strength. Okay, I'm going to switch again to put that weight down to hands and knees. And then finding the hands again, finding the knees here. Let's go ahead and shift our weight a little bit by taking one leg back and then taking that knee back under. So just notice as you're doing this, sometimes in class we would do these kind of things with a block or something on the pelvis, right? Just to know as you're moving, are you shifting enough that something would kind of fall off? So I've done that a few times now, just tapping back and bringing the knee back. I'm gonna try it on the other side. Knee, toe, knee, toe. Feel pretty doable. And yet to keep everything nice and aligned, there's some work happening. Pretty simple movement. Let's add some arms. Knees come down. Tap an arm out. Can you tell where your weight is shifting? How that is enlivening in the core to take the arm off. Both knees are down. And then let's switch. Just tapping out in front. Are you sitting back a lot with this? I notice I am kind of avoiding stacking too much on top. So I'm going to take that forward a little bit and really press through my fingers, fingertips. Good. Both hands down. Taking one leg back, opposite leg forward, bird dog. Reach. Get that nice reach we did earlier. Back of the neck nice and long. This is a lot like cow pose. We're not quite tipping the pelvis quite as much, but the more you lift your leg, the more you have that pelvis tipping up. Core pulls in. And bring the hand and knee back. Switch sides. Leg goes back. Arm goes out. You can lift that leg. Nice. Long back of the neck. Hands and knees come back, turning the toes under. Lifting the knees just off the mat. One foot goes back, comes forward. Stay on that same side. So you can get 2 or 3. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3. Really hard not to push my hips up, just keeping my knees right near the mat, bringing them down, and then shake out the wrists again. Nice work. Yeah, those get exciting. Those get kind of exciting. All right. Last week we worked a little bit with kind of shifting the weight. So we're going to do a little bit of that here again. So I'm going to come up on the knees and just see if I can shift my weight and come back to center. Let your toes do whatever they need to do and come back. If this one's not for you because of wrists, you could be on the fist. You could see if that works. I don't know. I really like the fullness of my palm there to make that switch. You can also adjust by staying closer to the floor. Instead of lifting the knees and being on the toes, we could be doing this complete contact with the floor. Yeah. All right. Shake it out again. Thank you, wrists. I'm just going to smooth it out, right out the fingertips. Just swiping it down. So I have one more thing I want to do. One more thing here. And I'm going to start by taking the belly up, getting into that nice cat position, pressing back, letting the fingers drag, and then see if you can roll yourself up, taking the arms up. If you want, you can do a little bit of looking up or even extending back. Arms out, roll down. And I'm going to find my hands out here. I'm going to walk them out a little bit and then walk out each foot to plank. Plank feel different than hands and knees? Bring the knees back down. Roll the spine. Walk the hands in toward you. Keep that nice big cat pose. Bring the hands in, out in front. Little extension. Out to the side. Rolling down. But I'm going to reach out with the hands again so I can extend one leg and then the other plank. Feeling each of the finger pads and plank. Knees come down. Start to round the spine. Next week, we'll try it starting to round the spine before you even bring the knees down. That'll be fun. Something to look forward to, bringing the arms up and out. And we'll pause there. All right, let's come up to your feet again. So finding your way back up. Finding your weights. All right, how's everybody doing? Ready to finish up strong here? A few more things on the agenda. Get a few more of our weights in here. Pulling up, rows. rows. If you want to spice it up today, you could try one and the other. Keep that nice downward control. Or continue to pull together. Come on back to standing. I'm gonna bring the arms out in front here. And I'm gonna come into a squat and do that bicep curl. Let's see if I can get 2 for the price of 1. Oh, my chair is right here. If you've got a chair nearby, it might be kind of fun to do your squat right in front of it. And come down and tap the seat. Yeah, soften the face. Renew our intention. Strong body, strong mind, resilience, kindness, not overdoing. Doing just enough. Heart rate coming up. Got my heart rate monitor on to see what this kind of work looks like. And coming to standing. All right, let's take it overhead. Maybe these weights, maybe your lighter ones. I want to press overhead. Press. Press. Watching my ribs a little bit. I could even do this seated if I wanted. Everything really steady then. Hips, sit bones. Three, four more. I know I'm really pressing it here. My weights overhead are definitely enough today. And then bringing those weights back down. All right. You, if you've done the curtsy lunges before, you may be able to stick with your weights in your hand. So I'll show that because I've already got them in my hands. I'll also show it just using the chair. So curtsy squat or lunge, I'm going to take the foot back behind me, kind of crosses back, and I'm going to do a little that curtsy and step back together. Now, if I go really close to my foot, you know, way in here, I can't go very far with my legs. So medium to a little bit bigger step behind you gives you a little more space. Nice grounding through your feet. And the weights are just here to have a little more to move. If I'm working with balance a little bit today, my fingertips on the chair. Or even one hand on the chair if it's at the side of your body, but this is kind of nice in front. I got all the space in the world behind me now to make those transitions. Again, feeling your feet. They step back together. There they are. Then we depart again. Good. All right. Let's see what I've missed here. I want to take my weights and do a little bit with the hinge again. So hinging, if I keep both feet on the floor, keeping everything pretty straight. You can do this no weights, just taking the body forward. And coming back up. Hinge, belly is working, come back up. Upping the ante, 1 foot back, forward, forward. Again, having your chair nearby, since we've taken some of our stability away. Great practice. Go ahead and switch. Going to take 1 foot back, 1 foot forward. Good. Stepping the feet together. Let's bring the weights right in front of you. And let's do a little shift of the weight in the feet, and so that you can take 1 foot up to the toe, or maybe lifting that knee up and back down. Find both feet, shift, come to the tippy toe, or lift that knee. Come back down. We're going to keep going like that, shifting, knee lifts. Yeah. Too easy. Take your foot out, back under. Take your foot out, back under. Good. And then bringing the weight down. All right, let's come down onto the back. All right. Might use some weights yet, so have them handy. So checking in again. How do you feel? I'm feeling some of that work in my arms today. Definitely feeling some of that work in my arms today. I'm going to start with my feet in a normal kind of distance from my body. Put the palms down. And let's work with just shoulder bridge here, lifting the hips, lengthening the neck. Go ahead and keep, if you can, just listen to my instructions and keep your head in line with your body. Try not to turn your head once you've lifted your hips. If you need to, come down and then take a look at what I'm doing. If there's anything that's confusing, come back down. Now let the tail just roll out. Let your jaw get soft again. And let's come back up. Shoulder bridge. So shins forward, kind of reaching out over the toes. And then just the idea of relaxing back of my neck, my upper back. Even though that's kind of where I'm landing, I'm going to release there. Come on back down. All right. We're going to walk the feet out a little bit. So if you need to, go ahead and look. Now's a good time with your hips down. I just move my feet out what I imagine to be about half of the length of my foot. And I'm going to take that bridge up again. Reaching through the shins or through the kneecaps, fronts of the knees, softening my head, jaw, and coming back down. I do that a couple times, more like a push up and down, more like a gym rep, maybe 5. Up, back down, up, back down. 2 more. Come back down. 1 more step out with your feet. We'll come back here next week. We'll work on this again a little bit. Let's come up and down here. Up and down. Keep your toes on the floor. I haven't gone out so far yet that my toes are coming off. I guess it could work to have your heels be the grounding piece and your toes maybe came up. That works too. I'm doing it. But maybe your toes can stay down. All right. Good. Go ahead and pull the legs in. Let your low back come to the floor. Get a little stretch into the glute here. Nice deep breath. And then let go of your legs and let's just crisscross. If you want to crisscross it as much as your legs go, you could do that, or just crisscross once. And if you'd like, pulling the legs in a little bit. And then using a little bit of core. My right leg went over, so I'm going to take my right arm out and kind of pull the whole works just a little bit to the left. I'm watching here that I don't go so far that anything becomes unstable in the low back. My right hip is lifted some. There's just a nice little stretch here for the lower body, really grounding on my left back side. And that feels nice too. And come back to center. And if it's comfortable for you, it might depend. Maybe you've had a hip surgery and this really doesn't work for you to cross the legs this closely. So that's fine. You can do a little less, of a cross at the shins instead. Go ahead and pull in. Feel the low back on the floor. You can be gentle with yourself. Left hand can come out onto the floor for stability. It's back here. And I'm just going to shift my weight a little bit. And then come back in. And bring the legs back to center. And then let's do something that's a little more unifying. It takes both sides of the body. Let's bring the feet up. And from the feet up, we're going to do those double leg circles. So bringing the hands alongside the body for stability. I'm going to reach the feet out, circle down a little bit, and come back in the center. This does not have to be your biggest circles, the biggest, widest circles. Start small. Maybe you want to end here on a really fine-tuned, not the hardest thing you could do note. So I could probably go down lower with my feet, but just not going to do it. I'm feeling lots of nice control here. My hips, I can investigate a little bit more how they feel. And then come back up to this top. And now you'll drop your toes together and then circle out and come back up. Draw a line down the center with the big toes and then out to the sides and back. Again, I could probably go lower. I'm really enjoying my low back having this nice grounded place. The lower I go with my legs, definitely the harder I'm going to work at that. Couple more. Breath, breath. And then go ahead and bring the legs in. Full breath out. You can release the legs whenever you'd like. Taking the feet outward and letting your knees tent in together toward each other, resting. And bringing to mind again your intention whether it was for this practice or now going forward into your day. Now, remember, your intention isn't necessarily your to-do list. It's maybe about how you're going to go about the to-do list. So, your intention for your day may revolve around joyful resilience, acceptance, equanimity, and then as you're ready, go ahead and roll to your side and find your arms to press yourself up. And taking a breath in, exhaling. Good job, everybody. Couple of announcements. I sent out my newsletter from Ingrid Schaller Wellness this past Monday. If you would like it, maybe let me know that via email, or put your, you can email or chat with me directly and give me that. It's also posted on my Facebook page. Yeah, thanks, Anne. And I have a couple of workshops on my own I'm doing, and then also check in with Pilates on Harrison to see. I'm sure I'm signed up to do one Friday flip. I don't know if that's in February yet. I have to look ahead, but I do have a couple of workshops this semester on the Saturdays in, I think, February and April. So just so that's on your radar. Hope to see you all again Thursday, and have a wonderful beginning of your week. Go Pack.
Thank you, Ingrid.
Thanks, Lois.
Hi, Ingrid.
Yes.
It's Jill. Is the one that you're talking about, that February 12th, 13th, is that the workshop you're referring to?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one I'm doing on my own. That's the mini meditation retreat, and I'll talk about that again on Thursday in more depth, if people want. But yeah, but I also have ones with Pilates on Harrison that kind of sneak up, like extra classes I would have that week. So let me get those dates out to everybody. I didn't think about putting them in the newsletter, but I will put them out on my Facebook page, or in another, I'll be sending out another notice on my 2 workshops. So.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Jill, sounds good.
Stay well.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks. You too.